Hello everyone, this is CJNovo992 and today we're back for the brand new video, and today's video is going to start one way. The only way it could ever start, people, is to start by saying one thing right off the bat. Rangers Football Club is European quarter finalists. How crazy, mad, unbelievable and sensational is that to actually say? Hey, look at us, people, look at us. After the second game of the Europa League group stages, we look pan-breed. No looking like we would be able to make it to the next round, never mind to where we have actually battled all the way to the last 8 of a major European competition. Who would have thought it? No, me. But incredible memes and all that to one side, people. Honestly, it's hard for me to try and plot this video or figure out what I want to say, because that is what football is all about. What we have witnessed from our football club, a football club that's not supposed to be reaching last 8 of major European Cup competitions. That's why they went ahead and made the wee Diddy Cup, people, because them in charge didn't want teams of the financial restrictions and everything that we've got making it all the way. No, they want their glamour ties. They went, do you know how? I know that, people. Do you remember in the draw for this upcoming round when they were talking about the moment, the game of the actual round, they didn't pick us beating Dortmund. They talked about Barcelona winning a game they were expected to win. That tells you everything you need to know about those in charge. But this football club just continues to surprise and shock anyone. Underestimate us if you want, because that is two teams that would have been happy. In fact, they were happy at drawing Rangers, saying absolutely packing, and now we're in the dance for the last 8. Can we dream to go all the way? Who knows, people? I wouldn't be doubting this team the way that we are playing. We may see another magical European run from this incredible, one-of-a-kind football club. But I didn't want to get too lost in what potentially could happen or anything. Let's actually pull the brakes. Let's pull in the reins and discuss what actually did then, shall we? Because, of course, we had the second leg versus Red Star Belgrade after an incredible game of football at Ibrox, back and forth. That game honestly had absolutely everything. I know Dortmund gets a lot of people talking and everything like that, but if you're talking about 90 minutes, the first game versus Red Star had everything you could ever ask for a game of football. So it was a hard game to actually live up to. And listen, we've done a lot of the hard graft in the first game, right? We had those 3 goals, we had that massive advantage. We done the hard job of putting the ball into the back, and the most difficult job in football 3 times during the first leg. So it was about going into this second game, being smarter and standing up and being brave in what is an incredible atmosphere. And you know what, to be fair to the Red Star fans, we had a lot of hype up and a lot of discussions and that about them, but their atmosphere that they created was toxic, it was intensive in the right way, and they backed their team from the first whistle all the way to the last. So they brought it, people. And again, it was all about the mental aspect of this Rangers team, because there's a couple of young laddies in there, and again, it wasn't a perfect individual performance, it wasn't a collective perfect team performance, in fact, and I'm not going to sit here and cheerlead and say how amazing and that we were, but for me, we passed the biggest test of all, the mental strength and being brave enough to stand up, even though we went 1-0 behind early on in the game of football. That is worst case scenario in the circumstance and the furnace that we were in, yet these players, despite being rocky now and again, they stuck at it, they battled through for the badge, and they got us to the last 8. So for me, despite it not being a great game of football or a great game to watch, they done the only thing that mattered and got the freaking job done. So massive congratulations. I'm so proud, I'm so happy, I'm so hyper, I'm so many words that I didn't even understand right now, and I'll probably be editing this video saying I should have said this, I should have said that, but my honest initial gut reaction to that is just so damn proud of this football club. And pride actually leads me perfectly into the actual game recap and discussing a couple of players, because for back-to-back European games we made no changes, and you can expect that after winning 3-0 in the first leg. So we went, and I was very confident with the first starting 11, and you know, if you go back and you check yesterday's preview video, who was in the thumbnail? It was Mr. Alan McGregor, who was making his 99th European performance for Rangers, and his stats and everything. I mean, you didn't even need me to sit here and say this, right? You all know what Alan McGregor, you know what he means to all of us, you know what he means to me, and we know he's been disappointing this season, and he's been having big moments, and he's had loads of mistakes and everything like that, but I just felt I wanted to put him in the thumbnail yesterday because I just felt he would need to be the Alan McGregor of old. He would need to be that guy for us again, and for me, ladies and gentlemen, he was. And the longer you watch today's video, the more you understand why I've got so much pride for that laddie and why I'm speaking about him individual right off the actual bat. But going into the game of football, I thought we actually started the game off pretty well, despite us conceding in the 9th minute. I thought the opening 5 minutes was played all in their half. I mean, we got a corner 18 seconds in, slightly disappointing we didn't whip it in and try and put the pressure on, and instead we tried a wee short corner routine. That was slightly disappointing, maybe letting them off the hook a little bit. But again, opening 5 minutes, playing in their half, getting the ball, doing everything we talked about in yesterday's preview video, and then just like that, it all changed. Now, if you did miss the game of football, how do you think we conceded in this game of football? Did you go ahead and guess a corner? That's what changed the game. Well, then you're absolutely spot on. I mean, it was deja vu, people, right? They end up getting a corner. It is a short corner that they actually take themselves. So we're a bit slack and slow to react. And then the boy just crosses what is, for me, the slowest floated cross I've ever seen across this 6-yard box. And I'm so proud of McGregor, and I thought he had a good performance, but I think maybe he can come out for this, and I think he actually got confidence as the game went on and came and claimed a lot harder balls, ironically, the longer the game actually went on. But for me, you're looking at McGregor, you're looking at, was it Joe Aribo missed the header, Morelos missed the header, the centre-backs are nowhere, Glenn Kamara, I don't know what's happening back there. It's just the usual comedy errors during a set piece. It drops to the laddie, he's got time to bring it down and do a half volley. 6-7 yards out for a set piece. How does that happen? I don't know, people, but that is just the set piece routines so far this season. So despite starting the game off comfortably, and I'm going, this is what we need to be doing, like that, the game had changed, and it was well and truly in Red Star's favour. And then it was all about, what is this team go in here, and if they can keep this up here. And again, it wasn't perfect, people. We well and truly had to dig in and build our way up in terms of performance, because after a couple minutes after making it 1, they nearly made it 2 with a good move gone down the left hand side of Rangers. I think it's the striker, he peels away from Balogun, he gets in behind Connor Goldson. It's a shot across the goalkeeper, but it is a good save by Alan McGregor. I'm not going to use the phrase McGregor moment, because that will come later on in today's video a couple times actually. This is more of a standard McGregor save, and that makes me happy, because his standard saves are usually sensational saves for other goalkeepers. But anyway, McGregor was big when we needed him to be big. But where McGregor was big and was rising to the occasion, it was actually the other end of the park where we've normally been consistent this season, where Mr. Thursday night wasn't having his best game. It just never really fell for Morelos. None really came off for him this afternoon. And again, I'm not digging him out, I'm just telling you how I saw the game, because in the 6th minute, just before they actually scored, we have a chance after a wee break of the ball that he could probably slip into Avenir, but there's a shot from a wee bit of a silly angle. And then in the 18th minute, when he's driving toward the box, he's got Glenn Kamara busting a gut to go this way, he's got Ryan Kent here, he's got 2 defenders, it's a 3-on-2 counter-attack, the thing we talked about all in yesterday's preview video about needing to take those opportunities. But unfortunately, it's a really, really poor pass. It goes straight to the defender, it doesn't go near Kent or Kamara, and that springs the counter-attack on the Red Star away, and it eventually leads to a header 8 yards out, but thankfully the cross is just a little bit behind the forward, and it just falls into the loving paws of Alan frickin' McGregor. But that's a summary of how the first half pretty much went, if I'm honest. We had chances and we had opportunities to go forward. We just seemed to beat ourselves and pick the wrong pass or do the wrong thing every time we went forward, and every time we made that mistake, Red Star were quick on it to actually go the other way. So it was a bit like a tennis match where you were disappointed and then absolutely bricking yourself. Didn't you believe me, people? Well, in the 22nd minute of the game, a ball to Alfredo Morelos, where, to be fair here, I think he does well, because we never had anybody really near him. We were kind of playing a 5-4-1 round about this time. We kick the ball him, he runs, he strikes the ball just wide. It's maybe a couple inches just wide, but from that goal kick, just straight for Morelos' shot, just wide. They go the other end of the park. It's a simple ball, and then they just hit route 1 in between Calvin Bassey and Leon Balogun, and Balogun's having to come over because we know Big Calvin's not really great with the headers, and it ends up falling down to the Red Star Belgrade player at the edge of the box, 1v1 versus Alan McGregor, but thankfully he bricks it himself as he rolls it wide. That well and truly could and should have been 2-0, and that route 1 was on for them all afternoon. It was almost like in their scouting board that just had one thing and one thing only: we can't header the ball, because that is what they continued to attack with, and it was worrying how effective it actually was. But now that I've given you 2 examples of how the game has gone, Rangers counter-attack, maybe making the wrong choice or things not really falling away, and then Red Star go on the end. I'll skip over a little bit so this video is no 7 to 8 minutes actually long then, shall we? Because there's only 2 other things I want to mention from the first half. Connor Goldson has a very good defensive header in the 35th minute, one of the few headers we won in the first half. And then on the stroke of half time, where again we make the wrong decision at the other end of the park. Bassey's done the hard work, he's in the box, he just needs to try and find a cross or find a man, but he then takes another step, we lose the ball, it's route 1 and they're gone down the other end again, and this one's absolutely unbelievable. This is the McGregor moment, people, of the first half, because it's almost like a 50-50 with Jacko, and Jacko hits it and it bounces off the guy, falls directly into the path of the Red Star player, and then he tries a wee finesse shot to beat Alan McGregor, but McGregor's got that big paw like that, and somehow spoons it right at the fricking bar. Incredible save, McGregor moment. We go in only 1-0 down at half time, thanks to our boy Alan McGregor, who has well and truly took to this intensity and toxic atmosphere. It's almost like that's what got him gone, people. He needed to feel that furnace to get him back playing at that level, because he was sensational in that first half. Again, I think the floated cross is something we can always look at, but in terms of shot saving and everything that he'd done, he was brilliant in the first half, and he kept us in the game to build the platform we eventually do into the second. So that was the first half, peoples, and if you watch the game of football, you know, and you would have shared the exact same feeling as I was. You were absolutely stressed to the max. Thank God I didn't have one of those heart monitors on the old phone, by the way, or it had been blowing up like the horn of frickin' Gondor. But going into the second half, you're thinking, right, just calm it all down, maybe tweak it here or there, and just get on the ball. Give us 10, 50 minutes just to ease our way into the game. But no, it never happened, people. In fact, the terror just continued, because 60 seconds in to the second half, it's a corner to Red Star. And I don't know about you, but us conceding corners gives me more fear than us conceding penalty kicks. Genuinely, I feel like McGregor's got a very good penalty save record. When we concede one, I'm like, there's a chance. Every time we concede a corner, I'm going, oh, that's a goal. And it nearly was. Again, as this one's a short one, it's driven in to the front post. Arebo can't get anything on it, sorry, and it just floats 3-4 yards out. McGregor has to kind of dive and get it. But what I like about McGregor here, and it's probably not going to show up in any highlight packages or that, but he actually gets his hand on it but flicks it away for danger. He could have easily, like he did a couple minutes later, actually palm it in the direction of another player. But for me, he does very well here and gets it out. The next attack came about 40-50 seconds after the corner kick, as we try and push forward, we try and get in their faces a little bit more, but they just carve us open with a wonderful ball in behind the Rangers defence, and that ball was on all afternoon. That is a worry, I'm sure that'll get tweaked going forward for Rangers Football Club. But it's a foot race between Calvin Bassett and the Red Star player, and to be fair to the laddie, it gets on the ball. I mean, it's neck and neck, but I feel like maybe he could have went down like a lot of these other players were, and we'll speak about that, because some of the players for Red Star were genuinely embarrassing this afternoon. Honestly, just gone like this all the time, rolling about, holding their faces, holding their ankles, nobody touched them. That was embarrassing, but this laddie stayed on his feet, and he very near go his rewards as he cuts inside Calvin Bassey. He's 1v1 versus Alan McGregor, but he has a runner there for a tap, and one of the things we've talked about all season long, and he does the unselfish thing. He tries to find the tap and he tries to get the easy goal, but it's a miscommunication as he passes it when the other boy thinks he's shooting it, and we well and truly go away with that, Ian. And again, you could say you're lucky or anything like that, but I'd much rather be lucky than good, people, because there's a hell of a lot of games this season where we've been good, but we've not had that luck, so I'll take it. But all this plays the part for the phenomenal moment, which was just round the 55th minute, where Ryan Kent's dropping very deep in this game, and I think that was the deepest he's been for a very, very long time, because just how attacking they were with that 3-5-2, piling people forward. He was very restricted tonight with what he could do going forward, because he had to sacrifice a lot of what he normally brings to the table to do more of the hard yards and try attack people and everything like that, but this time he just gets on the football. And this is what I've talked about in game upon game upon game. There is one player that's consistently tried to do this, and again, it's not always came off when it's not been working and for Rangers so far this season, but there's one player that always gets on the ball and tries to grab the game by the scruff of the neck, and Ryan Kent done this once again for Rangers as he gets on the ball. A gorgeous 1-2 with Glenn Kamara, who Kamara didn't have his best game, especially at the start of the game. I thought he went up and then he kind of took a dip just at the end, and you'll know why if you've seen the game of football, but he was big up here as well, keeping it. Gorgeous wee 1-2, and then Ryan Kent's pace, man, he just burns. Honestly, Ghost Rider would have got 4-degree burns for this run here, people, because he just leaves them for dead. And then he's got Alfredo Morelos to his right. He's got one defender there he can have a pop, and he does, ladies and gentlemen. And yes, it deflects off the defender and it ends up going into the back of net. But if there's one player that deserves that sprinkling of luck this season, with the 5 clearances off the line, with the 4 posts that he's hit, with the umpteen shots that's went just wide, and the goal that was ripped for him incorrectly versus Dortmund, it's Ryan frickin' Kent. He well and truly deserves that luck of the draw, or whatever you want to call it, the break of the football. But again, it's well and truly his goal. He runs away and celebrates, and I know there's so many diddies that try and say he's a wasting money for the other side, they try and laugh at us for paying what we paid, but let's remember it was his goal versus Braga on that season that basically paid for his transfer. And now you could argue his performances and then goal, his performances versus Dortmund and his goal versus Red Star has more than doubled his value. So if you ever hear anybody talking about what we paid for Ryan Kent, send him this picture and send him this picture, because he's paid for himself with his performances. But just like in Cinderella, when that clock struck, it changed again, and of course it changes again, people, from a set piece versus Rangers. I'm sick of saying it, but it happens every time. Most of our good work always gets undone, and the scary moments and control of the games that we have all come from one corner, or defensive set piece, I was going to say. But thankfully they didn't end up scoring from this set piece, but it is a pass out, it is a long shot versus Alan McGregor, and to be fair, it is straight at him. He should do a lot better with this one, but it ends up, I think it hits off his palms, and it ends up just going right to the Red Star boy, and you're thinking to yourself, he's played so well, but he's made that mistake, he's going to get punished for it. That is so damn cruel. But the gift that Alan McGregor gave to the Red Star player wasn't received, people, because the guy ends up mishitting it, and it gives McGregor enough of an opportunity to react, jump on it, smaller it, and just do that McGregor. And McGregor was busy again with another header and then making another save after the Red Star player literally caught the football like that. Honestly, just grabbed the football, and the referee was like, play on. Where's the linesman and referee for last week? He and they actually know their job. This guy was absolutely baffling. But McGregor makes a couple of saves, and we once again get control of the game. The clock's ticking away. I think they started to lose a little bit because they knew. And at this point, obviously, I was tweeting out to take Morelos off the park, because to me, when he was on one booking away from missing the next game, we know his hamstring injuries. I talked about them in every single game. He had already went down 10 minutes before. I was wanting him off the park, and then obviously a couple minutes later, I think it was like 6 or 7 minutes after I tweeted that out anyway, the potential worst is actually happened as Morelos goes down holding the hammy and ends up coming off the park. Now, fingers crossed, it's just him being clever here, because he knows he's ran his race and everything. Maybe the sub was already going. Maybe the man is sitting here playing 4D chess, and in case Colombia tries to call him up in April, if he's a potential injury, doubt they can't call the boy up, or it could be hurt. I hope it's no the latter, but if it is, ladies and gentlemen, scroll down and I'll give you an update. Check the pinned comment, because by the time I record this, I should be able to hear and see everything that's actually been said about Alfredo. But I hope to God the big man's alright, and it was just a bit of shithousery and some tactics. That was kind of the game petering out, and then we get to the 90th minute, and I'm just sitting saying, oh man, I can't believe this. Score draw, wee bit unlucky, I guess 2-2, but we'll take a 1-1. And then I see the board got 6 minutes. There was double the amount of added time for this game right here than Wiz versus Motherwell, and they time wasted 90% of the actual game. Explain that in to me, people. 6 minutes added on, and anyway, that kind of gave the crowd a boost, that kind of gave Red Star a boost, and then they just started firing balls in the box, and about the 93rd or 4th minute, whatever the clock was actually at this point, the ball comes in, it kind of gets headed down. Glenn Kamara tries to do that wee clever turn where he just shields the football from the player, but he ends up stepping on the foot of the Red Star player, I believe. Clear penalty kick. I don't think VAR was actually needed. And up steps the player who goes it's a different player, sorry, but it goes the exact same way as last week where Alan McGregor guesses the wrong way. But now it's 2-1 to Red Star. Maybe the scoreline they deserved. If we're being fair, did they deserve to win this individual game? Yes. Did they deserve to win the overall tie? For me, no. So they won 2-1. They won the battle. We won the war. We move on. And they go home, even though they were already home, I guess. I tried to do something there. Did it land? Not really. Am I keeping in? Probably. That's all I've really got to say about the game of football. What did you actually say? And again, I want to get this video done and dusty because I just want to know your opinion. Dive into the comments. Are you happy? Are you sad? Are you sad because you're happy? Let me know, people, and let me know what you think. And how far, genuinely, how far can this team go in Europe? Scroll down and share your opinion. That would be absolutely sensational. But I'm buzzing, people, so I'm going to wrap up today's video by saying I've been Sieging Over 92. That has been a very happy Rocky Boy Johnson. Take care of yourselves, everyone. All the best, and bye-bye.